Hello everyone, my name is EposVox, and I believe the gameplay that you are watching is going to be from Super Stardust HD on the PlayStation 3. What I hope to talk about in today's video is just my thoughts on The Hobbit 2, even though it's not 2, but Desolation of Smaug. That is the second release of The Hobbit, which should be a trilogy. And it came out this past December, I think it was like December 10th. I didn't get to see it till January, so I'm a bit behind, and so this video may seem completely out of place to you, but to me I still want to get my thoughts out there on the movie, because I had some minor issues with it, and I don't know. I loved the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Chu and I actually watched back through the trilogy recently, and we're hoping to make a run through of the extended editions, but that will take a lot more time than we have at the moment, given that they're like 5 hours each. I also loved the first Hobbit. That was an amazing movie, and I liked Desolation of Smaug. I really did, but there were some really weird issues with it that I think honestly came from doing the second and third movie at the same time, and that's pretty much unavoidable. You see that in the game industry, you see that in the movie industry, you see that anywhere where you're working on basically the current, release and the next release at the same time, which of course is Desolation of Smaug and the next movie. They were filming them at the same time and releasing them at the same time. You get this lack of polish, and you get this kind of feeling of it not being finished. And that is a huge problem, especially for cinema. Cinema, if you go to a movie theater, you're supposed to be watching a polished, completely done and ready to go movie. Not something that I honestly feel like they need to have like a post-production team go work on it before it gets dropped on disc. And that's kind of disappointing. It felt unfinished to some degree, and there's some weird issues with it that I would not have expected from a Hobbit movie or Lord of the Rings series movie, nor would I have expected to see it actually in theaters. One of those issues which you may have seen people talking about already on social media, and I actually saw it talked about before I even saw the movie, and I thought they were just being overcritical, but there's a scene where they're going down a river, the dwarves are going through a river, and they basically, for part of the clips, it looks like they attached a GoPro to one of the buckets, or barrels, and just had it run through the river with them. And if you don't know what you're looking for, or you're not expecting it, you're probably not going to see it. But as someone who is really perceptive of that stuff and was made aware of that before watching the film, it was just blatantly obvious to me. Like, there's a huge quality difference between the really, high-end professional video cameras that they're using and what appeared to be a GoPro that they attached to the barrel and ran through the river. Like, there was a huge quality difference. Like, it was almost even pixely. Like, the waves and stuff, the water was really pixely, and it was ridiculous. It looked terrible, and that just takes you out of the immersion of the movie. That gets rid of that suspension of disbelief, and it was bad. Like, it was just really bad. And frankly, they didn't even need to use those clips at all. Like, that's something, sure, that's a good idea to have. Let's strap a GoPro on there just in case, and, see if we can use those clips. But it was like a few 5-second clips. They could have not had those clips in the movie at all, and it'd be just fine. Like, no one would notice. It would have been a lot better to those of us who did notice that they used the GoPro. But they put them in anyway, and I have no clue why. The title slide. Like, a lot of the special effects or CGI almost had this, like, 90s, just like cheap 90s feel to it. It was really weird. The title screen with the eerie music just kind of reminded me of a bad horror movie, which was kind of weird. And then just some of the CGI was, like, really obvious that it was CGI. It was bad. It was, I don't know, like, that's not what I get from Lord of the Rings, Hobbits movies. You're supposed to be immersed. You're supposed to be really into it. It's supposed to be, typically those movies are a very enjoyable cinematic experience, and there were just things like that, like some of the CGI for the orcs and stuff just looked so fake that you can't really get into that belief. You can't get into the immersion, into the cinematic, into the film. It was, I don't know. I'm hoping, like I said, there could be some sort of post-production team that could clean that up before the Blu-ray release, but I honestly don't know that there will be, and that's really disappointing. Like, when you're doing as good of a series as you are with The Hobbit, you don't want the second movie, or any of the movies, to just have an unfinished feel and just kind of ruin the mood for some of us. Like, that was just, it was bad. The movie wasn't bad, but some of the lack of polish was bad. Just wanted to share my thoughts. Let me know if you saw it, what you think about it in the comments section below. Thank you for watching as always. My name has been Vox, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.